Hello, everybody. This is Meredith, and I'm going to be teaching you about blockchain and somewhat about Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Today is September 23rd, 2017. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It is not a physical thing. I'm not here to really teach you about that. You can Google that, and there's other places to learn about Bitcoin itself, and there are other cryptocurrencies, but I will only be talking about Bitcoin. And when you and there are because it's not physical, you have to store it in a wallet, an e-wallet, and there are many e-wallets, but I'm only going to be talking about one of them, blockchain, which is, in my opinion, I believe is the most popular, and it's the one I use, so that's the one I'm going to teach. Now, I will briefly mention two other things. First of all, there's many ways that you can get cash from your Bitcoin. You can sell it to friends or associates. And when you sell it, many people are always looking for it, and sometimes it's easiest just to sell it. Like if you have an associate or someone you want to help as a team member or something like that, you can sell them your Bitcoin, and it's perfectly proper to add 5 or 10% to the going rate on that day to the fee, to the charge that you charge them. Another way is in the list of people I gave you of who to buy your Bitcoin from is a man named John DeMar. He is a Bitcoin broker, and he will buy your Bitcoin. However, when he buys it, he's probably going to pay you 5% less than what it's worth, but that's okay. It's still worth it because Bitcoin keeps going up in price, and if you need the cash, you need the cash. But another thing to do is to get a BitPay debit card. And I have done a recording on BitPay debit cards, so I'm not going to really explain that here except that it is a prepaid Visa debit card, works like any other debit card except what you load on there is Bitcoin. But as soon as it gets onto the card, it automatically gets converted into dollars or whatever currency your country is. And because it asks you what country you're in, and I've done the Bitcoin, and you can get cash, but you can withdraw cash at an ATM or use it anywhere there's a Visa accepted. But I've explained that in the BitPay video, so that's all I'm going to talk about here. One last thing: there is such a thing as a hard wallet. There are many hard wallets. What that means is it's a physical wallet, and it's a USB port. At least the one I'm familiar with is. And you plug it into the computer and all that. And the one I recommend, we recommend that you get a hard wallet, especially if you have quite a bit of Bitcoin, so that no one can, if they do hack into your account, blockchain is very secure, but still, you never know. They can't steal your Bitcoin. But if you do get a hard wallet, make sure you keep track of it and you don't lose it. However, I think there is a way to recover it if you do lose it. The hard wallet I recommend is called Trezor. That's T as in Tom, R as in Robert, E as in Edward, Z as in Zebra, O, R as in Robert, and you can buy it at Trezor.io. Trezor.io. Now, let's go into blockchain. When you first go to blockchain to create your account, you go to blockchain. It's BLOCKCHIN .info, INFO, not .com, and or you can go to blockchain.info/wallet, and you click on Sign Up over here on the top right, and you put in an email address in here. Let's just pretend right now, and then you put in a new password, and then you confirm your password, then you click on I have read and agreed to the terms of service, and then you click on continue. You're done. You've created your account. Now, you're going to be sent an email by them giving you a wallet ID. That is what blockchain calls it. It's a wallet ID, and that means your username. Do not confuse your wallet ID with any other Bitcoin address. Bitcoin addresses are all, well, let me show it to you this way. Let me do this. Now, once you do this, it's also going to log you into your back office. And if it doesn't, then you would click on login and go there yourself. Um, so let me take you to the Bitcoin login. Now, when you I'm going to teach you in a moment about how to do a security where you get an email verification whenever you want to log in. Usually it's only the first time on any given day that you log in that it will ask you for the verification. Sometimes it'll do it more. Sometimes it doesn't do it at all on a given day, at least in my experience. But if this was my first time logging into my account, now look, here's my wallet ID, which is this very long string of numbers and letters. So one thing I also recommend very heartily is that you have a document in your computer where you record all your usernames and passwords and request number, which I'll be explaining in a few minutes. Your request number is your address where you have people send you your Bitcoin. Do not confuse your request number with your wallet ID. It's very important. Your wallet ID is your username, and that's it. So I suggest that you keep a document with all this stuff because look at everything. There's so many long strings of numbers and letters that you have to deal with Bitcoin. Do you want to type these in, or would you rather be able to copy and paste them? So that's why I recommend a Word document or a Notepad document or something in the computer. And then you click login. Now, if it was the first time on a given day, I would get a prompt up here at the top right of my screen telling me to go look at my email. And one other thing I want to point out, whenever you do click login after you've done the authorized login or if it doesn't ask you, it often takes 30 to 60 seconds to actually log you in. Actually, that was pretty quick. It often takes longer than that. But let me show you what the email would look like. I already did this earlier. So what you'd get would be this email that would say it's from blockchain, and it would say authorized login attempt. And so you would click on that, and then you scroll down just a bit and you click on this light blue bar that says authorized login. And when you do that, I don't think it'll work now because it's been too long a time. Usually it only lasts about 15 minutes or something. But when you do that, it's going to open up another tab in your computer here, and it's going to say checking login attempt. See request already approved or expired. But if it hadn't done that, it would have come up and said success here. And then I would close this tab because I already have and I would delete this email. Well, this was already in my trash, so, but normally I would delete the email then. And now I go to my login and I click login, and it'll take me in. And like I say, it always takes like 30 to 60 seconds to actually log you in for some reason, so don't get concerned if it takes a while. There we go. Now, here we are. We're in the dashboard. And notice a few things here. First of all, up on the top right here, it is showing me how much Bitcoin I have in here. Now, it also deals with Ethereum, but I'm not going to be talking about Ethereum. I don't have any, and I'm not dealing with that right now. Now, what you have in your blockchain wallet is Bitcoin, not dollars. But they very nicely tell you what it's worth. What it's worth in dollars. I'm trying to get rid of this. I don't know if you can see that. It's from my Join Me meeting that I'm doing. It very nicely tells you what Bitcoin is worth at this moment in dollars. Remember that Bitcoin always goes up and down in value, even within an hour. So it's telling you what it's worth at this moment. Now, here it's telling you what it's worth today, what one Bitcoin is worth today. Now, if you ever look at whatever website you go to, if you go to 5 different websites and to find out how much Bitcoin is worth at that moment, they're all going to have a different amount. But they're all going to be similar, close, maybe within $20, but none of them are ever exactly the same. Now, the first thing I want you to do when you come in here is I want you to go on this left side of the page, see where it's got dashboard, and then it's got transactions, Bitcoin, Ethereum, exchange, security center, settings. First thing I want you to do is go to settings. And here's your wallet ID, the same thing they emailed to you, the same thing I use. So you want to make sure that you have that saved somewhere. And then now I have not paired my my mobile with this, so I don't really know how to do this. If you care about that, then you can ask somebody else. I don't know about that, and I don't do that. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to go back over here to Settings, and you want to go to Preferences. And Preferences will tell you what your email address is that you're using in here, and you can change it if you want to. And if you have a mobile number, it's going to tell you, but like I said, I didn't do mine, so it doesn't have it there. It's also going to have your wallet language, which mine is English, but if you want to change that, you can. It's asking you what your local currency is. Mine is US dollar, but you can change that, etc. Well, I'll be darned. Here's something I did not know. You could do notifications and get notified when you receive Bitcoin by either email or text. I'm going to do email. How interesting. I never knew that they had that. Okay. Now, I don't know if I can save this or if I need to save this. There's other things here I'm not going to go through. Okay, so now let's go back over to the left-hand side here, and this is very important. You want to go to Security Center. Not security down here. Oh, it's not highlighting it for you to see. But you see on the left here, it's got Exchange, Security Center Settings, and then under Settings there's Security. I don't mean there. I mean, there we go. I mean here. Go to Security Center. And it's not letting me highlight it, but let's click on it. Now, the first thing that happens, I mean, I don't know what this first thing is, and I don't look at this first thing. The second thing here, though, says email verified on mine because I already have that. If your first time in here, it's going to say verify your email. I do recommend it. You click on this, it's going to send you an email. See, it's got a check mark here showing that I've already done it. It's going to send you an email. You're going to verify your email. And then, like I say, from then on, whenever you log in, at least the first time on any given day, it's going to ask you to verify that you are who you say you are. And but the really important thing here is this thing. Mine says phrase backed, but when you first go into your office, it's going to say backup recovery phrase. The backup recovery phrase, with blockchain, if you lose your password, you can't just click on I forgot my password. There is no such thing. The only way to get back into your wallet, if you lose your password or if there's some other issue that is preventing you from getting into your wallet, I'm not sure what the other issues would be, but if there are other issues preventing you from getting into your wallet, maybe you changed email and your email's not working. I don't know. But the only way to get back into your wallet is if you have this backup recovery phrase. So you want to click on that. It's going to tell you to print it out. It's going to ask you to put in 12 different words. It's going to give you the words to put in. You're going to be very careful. Print them very clearly. Make sure you don't misspell them. Make sure you have them exactly as they have them on the screen. They're simple words. I mean, they're not anything big. And then what you're going to do is you're going to save that document. I suggest you make a few copies. You put one in a safe deposit box if you have one. You give one to a trusted relative, one to a trusted friend, and you keep one somewhere safe in your home so that if you ever need it, you've got it. That's the only thing I do in the Security Center. If you want to do something else, you can. There's create password hint. I don't do that. Now, let's go back to the dashboard. Now, you see on the dashboard, you see I have Bit90X, Bit90X2, et cetera. These are all sub-wallets. I'm going to get into that in a moment. But if you have no sub-wallets, it's only going to just tell you your balance in your account. This is the total of all my balances. And if I scroll down a little bit, oh, that's interesting. I have many transactions. This is very interesting that it did this. Usually there's a list of transactions here. That is very, very interesting. It's treating me like I'm a brand new person. I don't get that. But normally you'd see a bunch of transactions down here, your most recent, but they won't be very detailed. They will not give you a detail on the transaction, just the amount and the date, basically. So if you want detailed information on your transactions, you go over here to the left on the top here, see where it says transactions, and you click on Bitcoin if that's the transaction you're looking for. And if you only have one wallet, if you don't have any sub-wallets, it's just going to give you the list here of all your transactions. Or you can choose just all the transactions that you sent, where you sent Bitcoin, or all the transactions where you received Bitcoin. And if you have more than one sub-wallet, all the transactions where you transferred from one wallet to the other. And here, if you do have more than one wallet, if you have sub-wallets, which I'll explain in a minute, it's going to give you here all the wallets. So if you want to just check like all your transactions from this wallet, then you click on that, etc. This is very interesting. Oh, yeah, no, that one I don't have any transactions, but I believe I do on this one. Let's hope. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, and the reason, well, I'll get into that in a moment. Okay, so now let's go back to the dashboard. And let's say you want to, and remember, look up here, you've got Be Your Own Bank. And right below that, you have Send and you have Request. Let's go to Send first. Let's say you are sending Bitcoin somewhere. Well, again, because I have different wallets, it's asking me which wallet I want to send it from. But if you only have one wallet, it's just going to say from. Okay. Now, the address is a long string of numbers and letters. Whoever you're sending your Bitcoin to, or whatever company you're sending your Bitcoin to, would have given you an address to send it to. And I'll explain the address a little bit more when I get to the request number instead of the send. But anyway, you would put in the address here, and then you would come down here to what you want to send. Now, if you know how much Bitcoin you want to send, then you put that in. Let's say you want to send 0.3 of a Bitcoin. Well, you definitely want to put 0.3. You do not want to just put 0.3. Always put the 0 just to be very safe, 0.3. And here it's going to tell you how much that is worth in dollars right now. Let's say you want to send 1 Bitcoin. Let's say 2 Bitcoins. Well, you want to put the 0.0 there too. So you're going to go 2.0. Always put the point and the 0 just to be safe. And it's going to tell you here how much that is worth. And if you don't have enough Bitcoin, it's going to tell you that. Now, if you don't know how much Bitcoin you want to send, but you know how many dollars, let's say you want to send $35 to somebody. Well, you're going to type in here 35.00. Again, always put in the decimal and the zeros. And it's going to tell you how much Bitcoin that is worth, just for your information. So you can do it either way. Now, it's going to tell you here the total minus the fee. And if you don't have enough, it will tell you that. Now, also, see this regular here? It always will charge you a fee, very, very small fee, at the most a couple dollars for a big amount, I believe. The most I've ever transferred at one time was about $2,500 or $3,000 worth of Bitcoin, and I think it charged like $3 or something, if I remember. Anyway, if you're just sending it, you can use regular. If you need it to go quickly, you send priority. It'll charge you a little bit more. But you almost never need the priority unless someone really says, or some company really says you got to send it quickly. Don't worry about it. It almost always goes instantaneously. Now, and then you click continue down here, and then on the next page, it's going to ask you to confirm the amount. It's going to tell you the exact total with the fee, and it's going to ask you to confirm that that's correct. And so let me close this out. And once it does it, over here on the top where it's got your information, on top of that there's going to be a little white banner that comes up and says your transaction is pending, and it makes a little beep noise too. And that's it. Now let's go to the request number here. Remember, we're back over here where it says Be Your Own Bank, and just close the request. The request number is when you are requesting someone to send you Bitcoin. And it is also a long string of numbers and letters, as you can see. Copy and share this address. Now, remember, do not confuse this with your wallet ID. That is, your wallet ID is your username. This is where you want people to send you your money, your Bitcoin. Now, whenever you copy and paste these, now notice this has a blue copy button, so they very nicely let you, if you click this, you've copied it, and you don't really have to worry about it. But let's say you're in a different place where you're copying and pasting one of these long strings of numbers and letters. My strong suggestion to you is that you always make a note either in your head or on a piece of paper of what the first two numbers and letters are and what the last two numbers and letters are. Even here I would do it, so that when you paste it, you absolutely know you got it right. So always make a note of that. Anyway, here though, all you have, you can highlight it and copy it, or you can just click copy and it'll see it says copied. And then you paste it wherever you want to paste it. That's, giving it to the person, emailing it to the person who's supposed to send you money, or like, for instance, if you're in a Bitcoin opportunity, or something like that, where they're going to pay you in Bitcoin on a regular basis, they're going to ask you for your wallet address, and that's where you're going to put this number. Now, every time you click request in the future, it is going to give you a new number. But my suggestion is, but your old number is never going to go bad, ever. So what I did was I simply, when I clicked request, I copied and pasted that onto my document, and I just use that one. I don't click request every time I need it. And I believe that's really all you need to know about that. And now let me discuss sub-wallets. The reason to have a sub-wallet is if you have, for example, I have these various places that from which I might earn money or from where I might send money. And so I want to know what came in from which company or whatever. So that's the reason to have sub-wallets. If you have more than one place that might be set, if you want to delineate that, you might not care. So the way to create a sub-wallet is you go over here again to on the left side of the page and you go down to settings. And you go down here to addresses. Don't forget there are FAQs here, so you can always read their FAQs. Might be a good idea. Anyway, you go down here. See, I already have all these addresses. But if I want to add a new one, well, let me do this. Okay, so here's one I did before to show somebody, and I did a test one. I can go over here to manage. This is in the way. I can go over here to manage. Oh, come on. Get out of my way. There we go. Go over here to manage and go to more options, and I can archive that one. Get rid of it, basically. Except I don't really understand it because it doesn't really get rid of it. It's still there. It just says archive next to it, so I don't really see the point. But anyway. Now, so now we're in, remember, we went to settings over here on the left, and then we went to addresses over here. And now what you do is you go down. If you don't have any here, it's just going to say add. But if you have them, it's going to have add at the bottom. So you're going to click add. And I'm going to make this test 2. You name it. It's asking you to name it. So you saw the others I named from the opportunities I'm in. And now I do create new. And then I go over here to manage. And I click down here to add new next address. And here it is. I'm going to copy and paste this address. Make sure I have the first 2 letters and the last 2 letters and numbers. And I'm going to paste this on my document, and I'm going to say that this is the address, the request address for my test 2 account. So that's how you delineate it. You want to make sure you do that. And you could add another one if you wanted to. See here, add new address. You can add as many as you want. But anyway, that's how I would do it. I would just do it one time and make a note on my document. Now also come over here. You can come over here to more options, and you can edit the name or archive it like it says, or make this one the default one if this becomes your main one. But you can edit the name. And so like what I've often done, like some of these wallets that you're seeing here, let me go back. Some of these wallets, like for instance, this one here is brand new. This was actually a different name before, but the name it was a different company that I'm no longer dealing with. So what I did was I simply changed the name here went to manage and changed the name to this one. And then on my document where I have the request number for that other name, I simply change the name to this name on the document, and so I don't have to get a new request number again. And I think that is really all I need to show you. I already showed you the transactions and how you can tell the different wallets, and I think that we are done. And I wish everybody a good day and the best of luck, and that's it.